Hello lads and lasses, this is your girl the Black Cat X1 here with Horror Saturdays edition of #Nightfog, San Francisco's horror series. So, as your horror maven, today I'm going to talk about The Dark Tower, which opened last night. The Dark Tower is based on a series of novellas from the author Stephen King, and it details a battle of good and evil. A gunslinger, played by Idris Elba, is the good guy wearing the white hat, and Matthew McConaughey portrays the evil wearing the black hat and wearing all black, which, as the Black Cat, I really enjoy. Now, you may think, well, I don't really like westerns. I'm not really into the novellas. I haven't read anything. None of that matters. If you want to see this movie, you should go and see this movie. It's an interesting take, sort of an intergalactic kung fu, because it's not just bang bang, you're dead, or I've defeated you, but it's the series of adventures that the gunslinger goes through, many of them metaphysical, which represent the journey that all of us are taking. And so I think this film did a good job of capturing the flavor of the novellas, which is, point simply, it's the journey, not the destination. And I think it was a really well done film, that they really did try to get the details in. The characterizations were good. I think the flow was pretty good. um, I think overall they did a good job. I had no expectations going to see the film, and so I was pleasantly surprised that they did such a good job, that they didn't do a too dramatic or overly dramatic rewriting of the main work. Stephen King himself apparently was pleased with it, according to Twitter, what he tweeted out. And I think it's not a bad investment of your time to go and see it. So do go and see it. Do let me know what you think. And hopefully you'll have a good time at the movies. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about today is Goblin. Now, I have two Goblin scenarios. The first one is a South Korean drama in which a goblin, a supernatural being with magical powers, tires of his 939 years on this earth. So what does he do about it? Well, he bumps into a university student, doesn't he? Well, she's supposed to be high school student. And she is a plucky, optimistic, bright girl. She decides that she wants him as her friend, and she and he go hand in hand throughout the world, roaming and having fabulous adventures. I think it's a very light-hearted take on the supernatural. I like the fact that Goblin is roommates with the Grim Reaper, who is also kind of grumbly about his fate in life until he meets someone who owns a chicken wing shop. And he finds her spectacular, she finds him spectacular, and love blossoms all around. So see, there is someone out there for everyone, no matter how supernatural you may be, or how many bodies you collect. Well, something to think about anyway. And I'm not a big fan of rom-coms, so for me to recommend Goblin means that it must be something spectacular. And it's available on YouTube and Netflix, etc. So do look it up. It's called Goblin. And if your Korean's a bit rusty, it is in subtitles, so don't worry about that. So enjoy that, and if you do take a peek at it, let me know. I'd be interested to know what you think. Now, the second Goblin scenario that I would like to speak to you about is the Italian prog rock band Goblin. Now, they had 1,000 names and they've had millions of members, but they're best known for doing the Dario Argento movie film scores for Suspiria and Profundo Russo. And so, or Profondo Russo, sorry, my Italian was a bit rusty there. And those films really propelled Goblin's uh, rise to fame, because they captured the flavor of the movies in such a way that people were attracted to not only the movie but to the music. It wasn't just the incidental little scary music, but much like The Exorcist, much like Jaws, the theme music really built the suspense and the terror of the movie itself. And so you should check out Goblin's music. with or without checking out the movies. Now, I would recommend them both together and paying careful attention to the Suspiria soundtrack, because the title song Suspiria itself is really interesting. Um, they also did work with George Romero in bringing the European soundtrack of what they call Zombie, which is Night of the Living Dead, to life. And so they did it through the interesting use of instruments and found objects. So do check them out. The soundtracks are available on YouTube and other places. I think someone told me SoundCloud, but I didn't check that out myself, so I cannot verify. I think that's something that you should look into, because Dario Argento has a marvelous way of twisting the action of the movie to suit the soundtrack, even though the action was filmed separately from the soundtrack. So I think if you look at it, it's really a genius matchmaking. All right, and so that's it. Upcoming next week is going to be Annabelle, so I am so excited for that. And I have a few other things boiling in my little cauldron of exciting projects, so I can't wait to share them with you. And I will start giving you some sneak previews next week. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really have fun doing this. I love meeting my fans. Follow me on Twitter at the Black Cat X1, and you can find out what I think and what I'm reading and looking into, etc., etc., etc. So, thank you for joining me. Happy Horror Saturday. Happy Horror Sphere. Happy hashtag Nightpork. So, I'm going to say, see you soon. Ciao, ciao for now. Meow, meow.